Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast. I'm your host, Alex Whiteley, and apparently we're the voice of Shrewsbury. Hey, how's it going? And joining me today, some guys got in touch with me. I love what they're doing, and I'm going to let them explain what they're doing because I think it's fantastic. Joining me today on the show is Sophie, Ruth, and Sasha. How's it going, guys? You okay?
Yeah, we're good, thank you. Hi.
Thank you so much for getting in touch. Honestly, I love that. I love that people have seen that we exist, and they're like, come on, let's come on the show. And I'm like, yeah, let's come on the show. Yeah, it's great. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, we appreciate it. I'm a big fan of your show, and actually through your show, I've contacted Amanda Jones, and actually we're working with Michelle Johns, who you know as well. So
nice.
So thank you.
Oh no, that's really heartwarming. Thank you. No, I love what we do, and I think it's really important. I mean, like, all we've got in Shrewsbury is BBC Shropshire. They do a fantastic job. What else have we got apart from that? The Shrewsbury Biscuit. That's what we've got. But thank you very much.
Completely agree.
Little Bags of Kindness. Whose idea was this? Because I think it's a fantastic idea.
So I think it started back in October when we were having a coffee one morning and reading the news about the government's, in our opinion, poor decision not to continue feeding vulnerable children during the holidays. And we had a bit of a moan and a bit of an upset about it. And you sit there and you go, well, this isn't actually helping anybody, is it? We can sit and we can moan over our coffee that we can afford to buy. And actually turning that into something rather than it being just a moan over coffee is a really quite powerful tool. So we, Ruth, who's one of my friends, and Sophie, who I work with in yoga and has become a friend as well, we sort of went, well, should we do something then? Should we actually take this and do something and help? So we decided to make little packed lunch boxes over October half term that came in bags. They all went really rather well in terms of being quite smooth. We found it quite easy to do. I don't know about you, Soph and Ruth, but it sort of went well, didn't it? And we thought, well, you know what? Should we harness this? Should we take what is in an incredibly kind town? Should we capture that and shall we do something with it? And so was born Little Bags of Kindness.
Beautiful. I remember all this happening. I remember all this happening. There were arguments on comment pages. I don't know how people could find a way to argue about this because there were a few like cafes and things that started doing this, like Cafe on the Cop and Stop Cafe, and there were places in Shrewsbury that were like, okay, if you got kids that are going to go short over the half term, pop in and we'll give you something to help. And that was nice. Then people are like they do on comments on Facebook, things like that.
You got to ignore those ones. You're always going to get some.
Yeah, I don't know how people can find something so positive and be like, "Whoa, that's a little tough." Like I don't understand how people can do that, but they manage to.
I think sometimes it's a real reflection of their own frustration, maybe that they aren't necessarily able to help. Because, funnily, I mean, I was shocked that some of sort of people that I know, my friends or people that you kind of, I would never have thought could have had a problem with generosity, with giving, with helping, because we don't actually ask anything of anybody. We were only saying if you would like to help. We would never put it on anybody, but actually getting some really negative comments or, are you really helping the situation by handing out 2,000 lunch bags over a week? Yes, I think we are. That's 1,000 tummies that are otherwise kind of rumbling. I don't know. I try to see good in people, and I think often anger or frustration, frustration and sadness can be the reason why they're negatively towards it, rather than just that.
It's been a very, very difficult year as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's been horrendous. Absolutely horrendous year. I mean, I've managed to take some part. I mean, I was on a podcast at 3:00 in the morning last night in an American one, and this guy was like, "Yeah, man, I don't like people to talk about the negative. I want to talk about the good things of 2020." And I was kind of like, okay. I was kind of like,
tumbleweed.
So what's good? I have had some positives, but like the negatives, of course, obviously, mental health, not good. Obviously, the businesses that have gone under, but I mean, there's been a lot of businesses I imagine are in trouble that still wanted to help. Do you know this?
No, completely. I think that's been what's been the best thing about this for me is just what we're doing is we're getting to people who really need it, who might not necessarily be associated with a charitable organisation who could help them. So for Christmas, we are taking on the sort of bagging up kindness, but in a gift sense, because obviously it's a time of giving. And there are so many families in the community from who we've got in contact with from schools and social workers and the police who are in a terrible way, but not necessarily eligible for any gift at Christmas. You know, they haven't got children in a hospice or part of a home. And if you're struggling to provide food for your family, Christmas gifts is going to be something that's incredibly important for this time of year, but not something that you can do. And that's what we're doing, because we're not sort of an official charity associated with one cause. We are giving our gifts to families of domestic abuse, of families who are on the poverty line, to refugees, women's refuge. There are only different groups we are helping with the same concept, that is giving a Christmas gift, which is something that you can't escape from this time of year in our society. And let's say you've got children going to school with children who are, from more affluent families and are getting the latest Xbox or whatever. And so they have no idea what their family situation is. And so it sounds almost trivial that we're giving presents, but it's so important to families this time of year. And if you really can't afford to buy food, then we can do this for you.
Do you know what? And the smallest gestures can mean a lot. It really can mean a lot. I mean, like, I don't like to get personal on the podcast. If you listen to the show, you know what I do sometimes, get very personal on this podcast. No, at the moment, we've been displaced since February. We're kind of staying at my mother-in-law's. Okay, we're waiting until moving to our new place. We're paying as much in storage fees as we are in normal rent, right? So we were struggling because it's Christmas time. We thought we were going to be in this place, pick up our keys today, actually, but they delayed it again. My wife rang the storage place. I've got back in from the supermarket. She's in tears, and I was like, "What's up?" She's like, "The storage place just said they're going to give us 50% off, and they're going to let us pay whatever we want for the short amount of time, which they're not supposed to do." That little gesture, that little thing, she's destroyed her. Like, she's absolutely in pieces and bits because of that little kind gesture, and she'll remember that. She'll remember that for a long time. We both will.
Kindness is so easy to give, but the impact it has when you're at a low point is unbelievable. And it's people's kindness, no matter how small they think that act of kindness is, has moved all of us to tears many times throughout this process.
Absolutely.
Yeah, one of the main... Oh, sorry, go on.
No, go on. Carry on with that.
I was just going to say, one of the main concepts behind it actually was this idea, just picking up on that if all of us do that small thing that we don't necessarily find an outlet for, that's what we're here to do at Little Bags of Kindness. It's kind of the crux of the whole idea that we know so many people that want to help in one way or another. Oh, God, sorry.
Don't worry about it.
I don't know. Like I say, I'm on not my own devices. I don't know how to use them.
It's fine.
This idea that we've all got these little ideas and we go, but, I've got that bag of toiletries. I've got that are brand new. I've got a spare £20 this week because, we're not allowed to go out with our friends anymore. Or, I've got all those size 12 clothes that no longer fit me with tags on that I wasn't able to get back in time, and where can I put them? And you think, well, everybody thinks that they're such small things. So then at Little Bags of Kindness, what we're able to do is go, give us all your small things. We'll sort all those little small acts out and make these big, beautiful bags of kindness that we hand over. And really try to say to these families, like, we see you. We see you as a community. We see that you might be in pain, or that you might be on the breadline, or that someone's ill and you can't help them because we're not allowed to go and see them. But as a community, we see you. Nice.
I love that. It's beautiful. So when this first started, it started with the packed lunches, was it? For the half term thing? Was that? Oh,
yes, that's where it all kind of kicked off, and we all got together. And then after that, you're left with this, God, we did so much and we actually all enjoyed it. And it's like, right, what can we do now? And I think we're all naturally hard workers, and we're like, what can we do next? And lots of talking and group WhatsApp, and it just came together with us, three of us sitting together before lockdown in someone's house saying, right, we need to get the social media pages up, we need to get the email address, we need to get the PayPal. a few hours of sort of that, and suddenly we were up and running. And the power of social media is that you can grow things pretty damn quick, and you can get your message out there fast, and people who want to help want to share. And so suddenly it's up and running with very little sort of effort, really. And we're running totally on people talking about it, sharing it, social media platforms. You can say that social media is not a good thing in many ways, but for us, it's been how we've managed to keep this going.
Yeah.
So,
well, keywords alone, keywords, even
it
if
just happens so fast as well. Like you say, the power of social media. I think I was always a little bit anxious about social media, and I sort of deleted my apps and then had to go back on it and forgot just how powerful it is. And the network and the community that's there is just incredible. And it's just nice to see a positive out of social media. And literally within hours, like you say, we'd just grown, hadn't we? The word had been spread and donations were coming in, and yeah, people really got behind it.
People like the concept as well, because I think obviously when I'm not from Shrewsbury, but when I came here, I wanted to help, and you don't know sort of the local charities or the people who really need it, and you end up just putting things in, charity boxes and not knowing where it's going to. And I love that, people are doing their bit by giving, but we're the middlemen who say, right, who needs it? Who's not getting looked after? Because I'm sure everyone would like to know that their gift is getting to someone who truly, truly needs it. And we are the middlemen. We are the ones that do the hard work, the collections, the bagging up, the reaching out to people and getting it to them. And that means we can work with whoever reaches out to us, whether it's a one individual family referred to by a social worker, whether it's a bigger refuge. We're getting to big groups, individuals, things like that. So I think that's, again, something we are quite unique with what we do, which is being the link between what you're giving and those that need it most.
Yeah. I mean, like, I've just done I did an interview with Shrewsbury Food Hub, and for part of the US UK, the USUC stuff I do, I went and spent a day there helping out because I wanted to encourage my listeners around the world and my hosts to go out and do it. And it's worked. I had somebody in California going out and giving out food, and they sent me pictures, and I was like, "Whoa, it works!" Anyway, but the point is, like, it's only been a short amount of time that people have sort of gravitated towards using these food banks, food hubs, the trolleys that you see in the front of supermarkets, food donations. I mean, since the recession, these things have come and they have not gone. But that's the kindness of people, right? That's just a nice thing to see. That not only did it happen, but it's never stopped. That people just keep giving. It's a nice thing to see.
In Shrewsbury in particular, they've got such a community. I listened to the Food Hub episode, and I mean, what that lady's doing, I can't remember her name now. Well, all the girls there, I mean, we sort of communicated with them with the Packed Lunch Club, but what an amazing charity and network that they've got. And as we're entering this world, we are seeing so many wonderful, kind people in Shropshire who are doing all these amazing things, and we can work with and help out, and vice versa. They give us connections and numbers and to contact. And yeah, it's such a lovely, lovely place, Shrewsbury. And there's so many good things being done. We're just hoping that we can, add our little slice.
There's a real breakdown of stigma around it as well. And I think that's where we are really, really doing well in Shrewsbury. So people talking about it, there's such shame attached to charity, receiving charity for so many people. And we've all had to this year go, do you know what? Let's drop that. Let's drop the shame around having to go and collect your cart from, that's very American, isn't it? Your cart from the food bank, your donations, but because people are hungry. People don't have money. People, their lifestyle has changed phenomenally.
Oh, you got people that are struggling to fill up their brand new Audi because they've been furloughed or they've been sacked, and there's people that have in completely unusual situation.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think I've been surprised. I've associated Shropshire and Shrewsbury with being vaguely affluent. My family's lucky enough to live in town, and so all I see is a certain side of it. So when we're hearing some of these stories, I'm just like, I can't believe this is happening, not only in our country, but where I live. How dare this level of poverty still be happening? And, this year, everyone suffered personally with this virus financially, and I spent a lot of this year moaning and being like, this is so unfair. And hearing these stories, I'm just like, oh my God, we need to shut up and look around us and realize that this is a terrible time, but there are people who are going through this for their whole lives. It isn't just a patch, and this level of poverty exists around us. And we spend so much time looking outwards in the world. We actually need to look on our doorstep, and it's such an easy way of helping. We can help the people in poverty, in a desperate situation, in our community, a hell of a lot easier and more effectively than we can with sort of the bigger picture. So if you're looking for ways to help, start on your own doorstep.
Yeah, very much so.
Well said.
Very well said. And who's going to, I'll tell you what, who can take me through the timeline from the beginning of Little Bags of Kindness when you guys did it to now, and talk about sort of like the growth and sort of how quickly it grew and how daunting that might have been for you guys?
Yeah, shall I start, girls, and then you can
go for it.
Go for it.
Jump on in. So it really was, and I sound so silly saying this, but it actually, I'll tell you where it started. It started on a podcast. There you go. There's our link back.
There's the link. Well done,
big high five for all the podcasts out there. There's a book, and I highly recommend it to anybody. I'm careful with book recommendations because I know they're very subjective, but there's a book called Untamed, which is a memoir of an American lady. And it talks about how we are socially programmed. We're all socially programmed from basically day one as to who we're going to be and what we're going to do and what we're going to care about. And we are asked and asked and asked of things, and we do and we do and we do. And we live in our bubble. We answer the doorbell when it rings, regardless of whether we want to or not. We do the things that we're meant to do. And suddenly you stand there sometimes and you go, actually, wait a minute. Am I being told from the outside in what to do? Should I not go from the inside out? Should I not listen to this before I listen to that? So listen inwards, not outwards. And I was reading it in that week before the government made their, in my opinion, very poor decision. And I was reading it, I was thinking, God, yeah, I'm socially programmed to sit here and go, well, I live in a reasonably affluent town. I'm okay. My kids are okay. My friends' kids are okay. Like, it's rubbish that kids don't get fed, but what can I do about it? And I think we're programmed to do that because this herd mentality, well, let's go with the herd, let's do that. And I was reading this book and it was really making me think. And I was going, well, the author is called Glennon Doyle, and she's on the big circuit with kind of the Elizabeth Gilberts and the Jay Shettys, the big thinkers of the sort of the modern thinkers, as you're calling it. And I was going, you know what, Glennon Doyle, my new best friend via a podcast, you're blooming well right. You are. I am thinking about this from the outside in, and I'm getting sad. If I think from the inside out, I get action. I get some real movement here, and I'm one person. And if I make one sandwich, that is one other person that's come from the inside out, not the outside in terms of thinking. And it really struck a chord, and I got really sad. And I think I immediately called Ruth or spoke to Ruth, or we messaged or something, didn't we? And I was like, we can do this. Like, we can make these sandwiches. We can do it. So, like, it starts so small, that tiny little seed of just changing your thought pattern and then going, right, we make some sandwiches. And then Sophie message, I'm free next week. Let me help. Okay, we're making sandwiches. Then we've got a venue because somebody else starts to go, well, actually, yeah, I'll think that way as well. And you get this amazing chain network of going, one person becomes 3 people, which then becomes 15, which then becomes 55, which then becomes maths I can't even do because everybody's bringing on 5 more people because they're connecting through their own network rather than outward in. And that's how it grew. And I think that's how it constantly made me feel. And I will be forever grateful. This woman, Glennon Doyle, with the book Untamed, I will keep saying it and I will keep recommending it for anybody, because I totally believe that Little Bags of Kindness came from listening to her on a podcast, reading her book, me then speaking to Ruth and going out into that network.
Our podcast
going on my Amazon list.
I love that. I love that the idea of this Untamed, but because I've just been speaking to Stephanie Henson from Six Ticks, who's doing she's trying to encourage people to step away from technology just for 10 minutes, hour. Put your phone in a bag, put it the other side of the room, leave it, right? And I'm like, but my emails, like my emails, my notification, like you don't have to do that, as she was saying. You don't have to. You can choose when to go to your phone.
They'll still be there 10 minutes later. That's the thing.
Exactly.
It's just training yourself. I've got young children, so hence why I've got 2 girls, another girl on the way. So that's why I was trying to get rid of my social media, because I'm so worried about when they get older. And already my 8-year-old is showing that she quite likes to check her not her phone, but her computer, and so it is so hard to.
I'm terrible with it, I tell you. But I have to say, when I was making however many hundreds of sandwiches I ended up making during that packed lunch week, couldn't look at your phone when your hands are covered in butter. Literally.
And we were just we were all just talking to each other, we were just all that social distancing, but all just talking to each other. You didn't have time to stop. And actually that was really wonderful. You didn't think about it because you had to get on with
doing this work. Like a lot of it, bizarrely, is manual labor. And so we're just lifting boxes, making up bags, running around. And I've looked up, how your phone tells you, tragically, how long you stare at it during the week, gives you nice updates. When I've been doing this, all this charity work and this manual labor and this being out and about and putting things together, I'm looking at my phone a hell of a lot less. So there you go. There's another positive from it.
Yeah. I mean, it's that fine balance, because you got to remember it's like social media that's grown this thing, isn't it? It's weird how you're like, oh, we shouldn't be doing this thing so much, but at the same time, so
we're using it for good.
Yeah. I mean, how many? So it's just the 3 of you. Did you say there's like 15 of you now? 55? Did you say there's like a huge group of you doing this now?
No, it really is just the 3 of us, but it's the terms of the connections that we then make.
Yeah.
So it's been
we need people to get us into the community, because we're not starting working with a organization constantly, where we need people to reach out to us and say, I know this family that are in need, or I know this organization that is in need. And so we do rely on many other people, but in terms of the day-to-day running of Little Bags of Kindness, it is us 3. And we have our group WhatsApp chat. I tell you, sees a lot of action every day. We are constantly in contact, which has been lovely. It's a very unifying experience together. But we're relying on husbands, my dad helping, people around us, but it is us 3 doing it. And so we're learning a lot, but we're all hardworking, intelligent, strong women. So we got this.
Are you a group of commandos that have got their own specific skills? Who's the specialist at what, or do you just have to just get on with it? I mean, who does the distribution? Who does the bread? Who does the, who does what?
Sophie is most definitely the queen of the spreadsheet.
Yeah. Thank goodness for those spreadsheets as well, because actually I think I'm just the person who just goes in and is like, right, okay, manual labor, throw this in here, this in here. Sophie's kept us in order for sure with all that.
I mean, I'm a person, like many of your listeners and many people out there, I lost my job in the fashion industry to the joyous coronavirus. So suddenly I was moving back from Australia, where I was working in fashion, to back to Shropshire, back to my family's home, suddenly with no hope or prospect of what I will be doing in the future. And I'm a busy, hardworking person. So I have thrown myself into this like it's my full-time job. And I quite like a spreadsheet. I mean, who doesn't love a good old Excel? And you've got to have some organization when you're dealing with other people's money and people's kind donations. We want to make sure we're keeping on top of everything, which we are. And I'd say Sasha could be our kind of I don't want to say leader, but I don't know. What do you think?
Do I get a crown?
I think the same. I phoned Sasha to say, is it okay if I do this? Do you think this is
all right?
I know. I'm like, just to get her sort of like, she's the mama of the group.
Exactly. I think that's the mama.
Just want to run it by Sasha first. She's our Instagram post queen. Like, I wouldn't even dream about putting something on our Instagram, to be honest. She makes it all pretty.
Yeah, you do. You're very good.
And does she step up? Does she step up to being the leader? Because I tell you, the pressure I get put under. But I'm looking after the Biscuiteers. I'm running. We're doing on tomorrow. We're doing our open studio sessions, right? I'm recording 9 podcasts in one day, right?
Oh, blimey!
That's a spreadsheet and a half. That is right.
Yeah. Oh, can I come over and have a look? Compare spreadsheets.
I'll send you a PDF, right?
Oh, exciting.
And like things change. I know, man, and responsibilities, right? Because at the end of the day, if something happens and you've made a promise to feed these children and you can't make on that promise, it's going to be bad feelings all around, isn't there? You know, there's a lot of pressure there between the three of you, really, actually. You know?
Yeah, there is pressure. There's pressure to get deliveries out. There's pressure to make sure people are getting things, and it's, you know, juggling. These two incredible women I'm working with are full-time mums as well. You know, I don't have that, so they're trying to juggle, you know, family, school pickups and things like that. So respect to the mamas.
I think there's definitely something to be said for feeling the responsibility, actually, which I probably didn't feel it so much first time round, because it was a case of let's make some sandwiches, let's make some packed lunches. It's a 5-day project. And we get that done, and then we wrapped it up as such, you know, on the Friday at lunchtime, and we were done. I know, no pun intended. And off we went, and then suddenly this time around, because we're not looking to an end. I mean, whilst the drive will finish specifically for the Christmas bags, that's going to finish sort of mid next week, sort of 20th or so of December. There isn't an end to the project now. So come January, we're going to start looking at something else, helping in different ways. So we're going to probably move into more of a kind of looking at loneliness and mental health in the town. Whilst we'll never say, well, we won't help you because you don't tick our current box at the moment. Absolutely not. We will always help whoever wants to come to us for a bag of kindness. But just shifting ourselves between vulnerable groups, however you want to describe it, or kind of or charitable areas, just so that we can help in our little way shine a light on our town in areas of groups of people. And I think with that comes that feeling for the first time now of a little bit of responsibility, because people do trust us. As Sophie was saying, you know, through social media, we have managed to get a bit of a presence out into the town of who we are and that we're here to help. And as a result, the donations are phenomenal. I mean, the kindness, Alex, I know you speak to a lot of these people anyway with your podcast, but the kindness in the town is amazing. Yeah. These people want to help.
Abundance.
And as somebody who then provides an outlet for that help, now there is a bit of responsibility, and there is we joke, there is a need for these spreadsheets. There is a need for the social media posts to make sure that we don't use triggering language, or that we don't say something incorrectly. You know, we do need a bit of a check on it.
And we have so much respect, I think, as well. Respect for people who we are giving to. And when we're making up these bags, I wouldn't put anything in these bags that I wouldn't give to someone myself. And I think charity can be very much, you know, we are not a charity shop. We are giving gifts this Christmas, gifts that I would be proud to give someone else. And I think that can be something that's not taken into account so much when it comes to charitable giving and donations. You know, everything we're bagging up, we look at and think, I would happily receive that. You know, we say that so many times when we're putting these bags together. Oh my God, I would love to receive that, or I would so give that to my mum, or that kind of thing.
Can we talk about what you guys were putting in the bags from the beginning, and where you were sending them? Who was receiving bags?
It originally started off as just the women and children from the refuge. Yeah. So we'd only got, I think at first, probably about 20 bags, 20 adult bags, and probably about 17 children. So wow, well, that's okay. That, you know, we'll manage that, no problem. And we received the most, like Sophie was saying, the most beautiful gifts, these beautiful scarves, handmade soap and lip balm, just really, you know, prints, amazing things. And then suddenly it's just got absolutely huge. I mean, I don't know how many bags now we've given out, but just the most amazing gifts in there. And yeah, just beautiful. And it's just grown and grown and grown. We keep getting more and more referrals, and the donations keep coming in. So the gifts that we're putting in there just get, you know, better and better.
Yeah,
really. We're able to go out and, you know, I mean, it's been difficult for us. We've had a lot of, like, you know, teenage boys, and none of us have teenage boys or no teenage boys. So we're like, oh, well, you know, we're having to contact people saying, what do you think we should get? What would be nice? but we have the funds to go and get them something nice and, you know, do that little bit of research, go and, you know, then go and bag it up. And yeah, it's just been a really nice process, actually.
Links Africa. Links Africa is the correct answer for everything, by the way.
Well, yeah,
we've got plenty of links.
We've had that, which is brilliant, but we've bought like little beanies and like scarves and, you know, sort of funky gifts that teenage boys, well, we hope they might like. We're told they'll like. Yeah.
And what we do is we ask the organisations to give us exactly a breakdown. Let's say we've got 7 families we're giving to. We ask them to give us the ages and how many children. So, you know, we'll get a family and we'll be like, right, you know, we've got 2 adults in this and we've got a 14-year-old boy, 12-year-old girl and a 3-year-old. And then we will go to our categories of gifts that we've got and tailor make each bag so it's really specific for that family. Then we'll put some chocolates in, and, you know, if we're missing something from a certain category for, you know, a 15-year-old boy, we'll go out and buy it. So everyone in that family gets a gift, and then the parent, I imagine, would get this bag and they can decide how they want to give it to their children. You know, they can be gifts from their parents, or they can say it's from Santa Claus. So it's giving sort of the power to the parents to give their children the gifts how they would want it.
One of the sayings we've stuck with actually through this is charity wrapped in dignity and given with kindness.
Nice.
So it's not just, you know, I think I can't remember where I read it. It's not a Sasha Ford quote. I definitely read it somewhere.
Copyright that.
But really taking that on, like, yeah, wrap it in dignity. You know, people don't want to just be given a bag of crap. And of course they don't. Of course they don't. Why would they? We wouldn't.
Exactly.
I think the best thing to do is to, instead of calling it, it's a gift, right? A gift. And I was always really bad at receiving gifts until someone was like, somebody wouldn't give you an apple if they didn't have enough apples. Accept the apple, Alex. And I'm like, okay, all right,
yeah.
Fine.
No, it's true.
Because I get shy with stuff like that. Someone's like, hey, do you want this? And I'm kind of like, I feel really bad, guilty and stuff. My nan would have to like chase me around and put like the $5 in my hand. I'd be like, no, Nan, no. And she'd be like, throw it at me and stuff, you know. But yeah, it's one of those lessons in life, I think. And working at the Shrewsbury Food Hub at Cromere Baptist Church, just seeing the people use that, and people from all kinds of classes, all kinds of walks of life coming in, helping themselves. And it's because they know that food has to be used. It has to be used, otherwise it's going to go to waste, it's going to go to landfill, and be gone forever. And that was really nice to see. Should be any shame.
We receive these donations, they have to go to people.
Exactly.
So I think it's also easier to receive a gift than like a charity bag. Like if someone presents you as a family with a gift, it's Christmas time, you can accept that, and as opposed to getting sort of a bag of donations. I mean, we are also donating essentials to those that need it as well. You know, anything you need, we can do, whether that's a gift or you really need the basics because you are setting up home for the first time by yourself. You know, you've come out of care and you're setting up home. Anything we can do.
Well, Christmas being the perfect segue. Thank you, Sophie. Christmas is, it can be a terrible time for people. I work in support. I've seen people go through terrible, terrible times over Christmas. And do you know what? This year, actually, I don't have a single decoration up. I have no tree. And so when I see a Christmas tree on Facebook, I'm like, oh. So for this year, I can empathize now. I can see like what makes people sad at Christmas, right? That this is my insight, this is my window into that life, right? And it does feel bad. I mean, imagine if you had nothing and no one, and you know, that was Christmas for you. What are you guys doing? Because these what you're doing sounds fantastic. What are you doing to sort of help people at Christmas?
One of the things that I keep thinking back to is this idea of inclusion.
Yeah. Nice.
So I love a good quote or a good podcast from an inspirational speaker. And one of the things saying, you know, kindness is inclusion. It's just inclusion. Yeah. You are saying to somebody else, I see you, and here's how I can help you. And how I can help them is different to maybe how you can, Alex, or how Sophie can, or how Ruth can. You know, we can all help in different ways, but we can include them. So the bags are including people in the idea that Christmas is about giving and receiving, and whatever you're giving and receiving, whether that is just love and kindness, or whether it is the latest Xbox, if you can get your hands on one, or a new bit of tech, or what have you, you know, that's also part of it. You know, we don't have to just say, you can't do it because you can't afford it this year. You can still be included in Christmas.
Yeah.
So that's,
at the end of the day, that's what we're doing. You know, our Christmas drive is about giving Christmas gifts, whether that gift includes some personal care basics, because that you in a certain financial place, it's still going in with Christmas gifts. So that's what I think is unique about this certain drive, is that it's a real focus on presents and gifts, and some essentials are included in there for specific requests we've had. But the focus for Christmas is about giving and giving presents. And I think this time of year, that's where a lot of our donations have come from, is actual physical presents that people are picking up when they're buying presents for their own family. So like Sasha said, it's including donations in their own Christmas shopping. And
that's nice.
Yeah, so that's
it's nice because, you know, this, like I said, gestures, small little gestures can mean the world to people. And you know, they really do. And you know, thank you guys for offering
do something kind today, everyone. It's very easy. It's so easy. If that's one thing people can take away today, if they're listening to this, is just do something kind, whether that's following us or helping us, or just doing anything kind on your day-to-day life and chores. It really is easy.
Amen, sister. No, like I working at the Food Hub, I did as part of a drive we were doing with USUC, hashtag USUC Cares, right? But when I did it, I felt this immense sort of feeling of pride, right? I was really happy with what I did to help people. And I want to start doing more of that now. Are you guys after volunteers? Is there anybody that you need help with? You know,
I mean, do we need volunteers? Sorry,
my internet went a bit weird then. Are you after people to help you?
I mean, at the moment, our last collection date is today, and on Sunday is the day that we've done so much bagging up, and we've actually delivered presents already. We did 30 bags to mine the other day. Wow. We've done a few other deliveries. So I think for volunteers now, obviously because of COVID, it's tricky as well. So we've got a little warehouse with all our things in that someone's very kindly lent us the keys to their place. So volunteers we don't really need at the moment, because this
just
drive
for this
is running
drive,
just for this drive, but possibly in the future.
What we really
things
need,
will change.
What I think we really need is links to more people that need our help. Yeah. And if you are listening right now, and if you're thinking, you know, I know somebody who works in the council, or I know somebody who works in a school, or my sister-in-law's a protection officer or a policewoman, or these are the people that when they ring us, and I've had so many of these calls over the past few days of going, I've just been given a family who have been displaced, or they're moving into a bed set on Monday. Would you be able to put together a bag of kindness? Yes, we can. That's exactly what we're able to have. So as the girls are saying, we don't necessarily need physical bodies to help us put stuff in bags. We've got that bit nailed. Links within the community in any way that we can get any more of those links, because we have the donations, we have the ability to get it to them. It's just the people, the end users of our products.
And without sounding like we're plugging our social, just following us and spreading that. You know, the more followers we have, the more it's getting out there in Shropshire around, the more we'll be able to help people. So just even if you just follow us, or if you ask someone to share or like us, it's helping us get to more people basically who we might be able to help. So yes, I'm doing the horrible follow us, and we are at Little Bags.
It's not horrible.
It works. You know, it does work.
Yeah,
it? That's how we've grown in such a short space of time. Because we only started this drive 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be close to 500 people that will be helping before Christmas.
And we're still accepting
at the start of this drive, like the same at the Packed Lunch Club. You know, we all sat around and we said, "Do you think anyone's going to want these bags? Are we going to get them to anyone? Are we going to get the contacts?" And boom, within a week, you know, we'd had so many orders and so many contacts, and you know, now we know so many other charities and people who we plan to help with in the future. So already it's growing, but any more, you know, contacts and
we're on Instagram and Facebook, and there's a link to our PayPal account, which we're keeping open even when we finish this drive, to help set up the next one going into January. So any donations that aren't used for this current Christmas drive will be carried on into what we're starting up in January.
Nice. It's not cringy though, this like and share stuff. It's not. I mean, if you're doing it for the wrong reasons, then possibly not. No, but like when somebody shares something and tags their mates into it, you're not just necessarily telling them about it. You're telling their whole network, you know. And each person you share it and tag it is going to get like a notification. Like it's a huge world, the whole Facebook world, you know. And if you think about the hundreds of, you know, the thousands of people that are in Shropshire, hundreds of thousands of people that are in Shropshire, that could spread across the whole county, and the word could get out there, and not necessarily to people that you can help, people that can help you, give you the resources that you need. Yeah, forward, you know.
Let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I think also what I've realised as well is there's a lot of people who are off grid. So people who don't currently have the ability to have technology in their home because maybe they're not in a home, or, you know, they haven't got spare £10 to put credit on their phone, you know, things that I hadn't necessarily 100% thought about first time. So actually, the more we spread the message around the people that are on Facebook, are on Instagram, or through podcasts like this, you know, and somebody just one spark that goes, oh yeah, well, I could send an email out to my network of protection officers who could then think of the families that are off grid that we can then help. And then, you know, this is actually specifically what happened last week. And we've got a lady coming to pick up 7 bags tomorrow, or 8 bags or something, who are families that have just been displaced. They haven't got Wi-Fi set up. They maybe don't have £10 to put credit on their phone. So they can't get in touch to get the information and get the bags, but we can still get them to them, which is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. And how are you accommodating for that then? People that are not online?
We we did do a bit of a leaflet drop. Ruth and a friend went and did some old school leaflet dropping, which was quite nice. And we have one of my friends works within the council, and she's got a really big network of sort of social workers and things that she was able to get out to and say, look, Sasha, Ruth and Sophie, they're here, they've got these bags. Can you think of the families that wouldn't, you know, that don't come into town because the £2 bus fare is too much, or that that are just literally moving home and they don't have, can you think of these families and can you give her a call and the ladies will get the gifts to you that way. So we've done it a bit through that as well.
Connections, people's own networks of people they're helping, getting in touch with just that one person can suddenly open up a whole new avenue of people we can help. So that's why spreading the word is just so important and so key to what we're doing, and making sure we get out to the right people. It's just, we need one person who is in touch with a lot of other people to follow us, and that's how it all spreads really. So yeah, the positive side of the dreaded social media.
And Ruth has really good connections with other charities, so you got us really in touch with Minds, didn't you, Ruth?
Yeah. So I was supposed to volunteer there in April, and then obviously the pandemic happened. So I'd been connecting with them for about 6 months before my daughter went to school, and I was like, right, you know, can't wait April. I'd had a nice sort of settling in afternoon and really excited. Then obviously couldn't work for them because my kids, well, obviously we're in a pandemic, we're all in lockdown. So it was so nice to reconnect with them and be able to provide these bags. And they were so grateful. And, you know, they told me that these visitors weren't going to have anything this Christmas. So we gave them these beautiful bags. We did them last week. Again, from Mind, they knew somebody else. I actually got the number for the refuge from the lady at Mind because I was struggling to get in contact with them. So again, it just flows and flows and flows. It just keeps spreading. And long may it continue, because we love working with Mind and the refuge. So yeah, hopefully there'll be connections for any future drives as well.
I think with things like this, that's beautiful, by the way. I'm so glad. Mind are amazing. So I'm glad you're working with them. With jobs like this continuing drive, I feel like these jobs get better with compassion. Once you understand the job and you learn the lessons you've learned, I think you kind of get better at what you do because you kind of understand where this is going and sort of the good that you're doing. Can we go around the room and talk about sort of lessons that you've learned since you started this? Is there anything that you didn't know before that you do now that's made things easy for you?
Who wants to start, guys?
That's quite deep. That's a really deep thing.
I mean, personally, I'd always, for the last couple of years, I mean, my second daughter, or will be second daughter, third's on the way. She'd recently started school, and as soon as she started school, I really, knew that it was going to be my time to work in the charity sector. I run a little catering company from home, but mostly morning jobs, sort of deliver in the afternoon. So I could work in the afternoons for the charity sector. So I was really keen, but I didn't know how much. I mean, just the couple of evenings that I did at mine, just how much it was going to affect me. Once you've given kindness without wanting anything in return, you just want to carry on. It puts your life in perspective. I don't know, it's just a wonderful, it just really puts perspective on things, and you come away with a wonderful feeling. Of course, your heart breaks for some of the situations that you hear about, that, or that you suddenly realize is going on in your town, but you're making a difference, and it's just a really good feeling. So when this came along with the girls, and like Sasha was saying, so Sasha and I had a coffee, and she mentioned about this lunch club. I said, you know what? I'm one of those people who always talk about doing things, but sometimes never get round to it. Where do I start? And obviously there'd been a pandemic, so things had brought to a halt. And actually, I think it's just taught me that this is, something I want to continue doing, and don't necessarily want anything in return. We just want it to keep growing and expanding and just keep spreading the love, really. But yeah,
I think mine's really similar. I mean, as I was saying earlier, I've had a really bad year, actually. I moved to a new country to start an amazing new job in the fashion industry, which is my background. I'm a Londoner, and I lost my job, and I was feeling really angry and upset. And what this has done is that, firstly, it's given me something to do. From a selfish point of view, I can't sit around doing nothing, feeling sorry for myself. So it's made me it's given me job satisfaction. Working in the fashion industry, what you're doing isn't great for the greater good exactly. And doing this, I'm doing something that is helping people, and selfishly, it's making me feel good. It's making me feel that I'm giving back, and it's given me perspective. It certainly has reduced my personal moaning, which I'm sure all my friends and family will be happy about that. But it's given me perspective, and I love who I'm working with. I call Sasha and Ruth my colleagues, because they're my colleagues in this venture, and working with women you respect and you love. And it's become it's taken over everything. It's become what I would call my job. And so, I mean, that also almost sounds selfish, because it's talking about how it's making me feel, but it's making me feel good and worthwhile. And in a year that's been unkind to me, I feel like I'm being kind to others. And God, what more can you ask for, really? It's certainly given me perspective as to what I want to do with my life moving forward, career-wise.
There's nothing selfish about empathy. Nothing selfish about empathy.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
And actually, that's that leads really well, because it's exactly the same thing for all of us. We just probably say it in a different way. And I'm another podcast that I'm really big on, Jay Shetty. I mean, so are a lot of people. It's the biggest podcast in the world, isn't it? But Jay Shetty, the guy who was a monk for 4 years and then came back into the real world and puts monk-like thinking into real life. And he's always on my mind with things that I do. And one of the things he's really, really big on is this idea of dharma. So we all have dharma. Dharma is our purpose. If we don't have dharma, it's really hard to find. If we don't have purpose, we find it really hard to have any sort of get up and go, because what are we getting up and going for? What are we getting up and going and doing? And again, going back to that idea of are we programmed from the outside in, or are we programming from the inside out? And if we're programming from the inside out, what we get up and go and do, if we do it with real purpose and real love, it's not a job. We're doing it for joy. We're doing it. And it's not, I know Sophie said she feels selfish saying that. It's not. No act is selfless. No act is selfless. And that's okay. That's something I've definitely learned doing this with Little Bags of Kindness. It's okay that it makes me smile on the daily because I'm helping others. Why not? If it makes me smile on the daily because I'm making my own bank account big and fat as a result of, treading on somebody else on the way up, that's probably not okay.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, if it's just that we're feeling good about ourselves because we're helping others. Like, that is okay, as long as that doesn't become bigger. And, you know, the ego has a part in everything, but as long as the ego doesn't become the only reason why you're doing it again, obviously. But I think it's okay to say, makes us feel good, makes us smile.
Well, it gives us the drive and the passion, doesn't it? And I think it feels like no effort with you girls and what we're doing. We're all so keen to get there. I mean, sometimes it's frustrating if we can't get, you know, and start packing straight away. There's so much that we want to do. The passion's there and the ideas are there, and we just want to, you know, keep it going. And
you watch us grow, guys.
I hope to God you do, because I love what you do. What can I say? You know, it's something that started and snowballed, and it's all good intended. So, like, what can you hate about this? Nothing. I think it's fantastic. You guys are great.
We must give a shout out to our little children as well, because they had a day where they were packing all the presents, and it is hard for 8-year-old girls not to want to take the presents, but they understood that they were going to a good home, and they did a few hours, didn't they, of packing all the bags. And with the Pack Lunch Club, my goodness, you know, they were making sandwiches. They filled 1,000 bags with all
these ladies' kids are blooming amazing, I have to say. I was certainly not as kind and empathetic and hardworking as these girls are. Well, girls and boys.
Yeah, me neither. They were really good. And actually, they're doing a little litter pick tomorrow to raise money for Little Bags of Kindness. So rain or shine, they're going out for a few hours and filling some bin bags full of rubbish to raise some money. So, we've got to give them a little shout out, because obviously on a half term especially, we had to take the kids with us all week. So they had to come and immerse themselves and work. And actually they loved it as well. Their passion was there. You know, they understood at such a young age. That was really,
it's really important
nice.
to teach those lessons to kids, though, isn't it? I think I was okay. This is a genuine story. It actually happened. And last night I was in Home Bargains. I want to get some popcorn. The popcorn from Home Bargains is awesome, right? So I went to get some popcorn from Home Bargains, and as we were paying, somebody left 20 quid on the floor. I was like, I picked it up. And like, there's always that moment of temptation. 20 quid. But I was wearing my Shrewsbury Biscuit t-shirt, right? If anybody's seen me taking that.
Not the best PR.
No. But anyway, I gave it in, and Timmy was like, I was like, what do you do when you find £20? He's like, keep it? And I was like, no, we hand it in. Here you go. And I handed it to the lady on the till. Somebody dropped this on the floor. She called the manager. He went and put it away. And I was saying to her, like, I would hate to think that my boy would just swipe that. And I explained to him, if it was your birthday, and that was your birthday money, and you dropped it, how sad would you feel if you came back to where you dropped it and somebody had taken it? And, you know, you felt that compassion and that empathy. And it's really important to. And this lady on the till's like, she's getting all teary-eyed. And I was like, no, it's important to teach these lessons, you know. And it's the same with packing these bags, you know, because what the kids do.
Oh, completely.
They're getting the
this
reward.
Morning, I actually took a delivery off a woman who was, you know, showing me all the things she'd got. And she's like, I went shopping with my son yesterday and we did this together. And he said it was some like police dress up gift set. I'm not sure what it was, but she was like, my son just could not stop saying this gift is going to make some boy very, very happy. And so already then that's a lesson taught to a child. You know, shopping for other people, empathy is something that children do not learn quickly or easily. But I think shopping for Little Bags of Kindness gave that boy a little lesson in that. So yeah, it all helps.
No,
the schools that our children go to, Ruth, have been amazing, haven't they? They've really taken it on board. And we've sort of said, as parents in our schools that our children are at, we've said to the teachers, you know, it's really important to us that our children are learning these lessons, you know. So saying to them, would you mind passing this on to the other parents and saying, look, 2 school families are doing this drive, and actually at a time when it's really hard to give because of COVID, and all of these charity drives are few and far between. As communities within schools, as communities at the bigger Shrewsbury and the Shropshire community, actually, you know, people do care. People care in it.
Yeah, they really do.
Schools are great for stuff like that. I mean, my kid goes to Colham, right? And they've closed the street. They've closed the street so the parents can walk along social distances. There was this woman arguing with the teachers. And I was kind of, why? Why would you argue with them? You can just go the other way, you know? Oh, God, it was terrible. But yeah, they're brilliant and stuff like that. And are there any companies that have helped you, local companies that you kind of were so grateful for donations, things like that?
Oh my goodness.
So many.
Has anyone made the list? Because it's one thing we've not got round to doing yet, but again,
we're going to do a huge thank you. Yeah.
And especially as the week's gone on, actually, we sort of thought, well, the first few weeks, this will probably be the main bump of it and the money. And actually this week's just gone mad. So there's so many organisations. Does anybody have anyone in particular who we want to thank?
We've had Sainsbury's have been lovely. Elaine at Sainsbury's, Tesco's. Wendy at Shropshire Council this morning, who I've been speaking to, have given, they do Christmas buffets for the staff normally, where everyone donate money towards the food, and this year they gave all their money to us from that. So that was me in tears this morning on the phone. Honestly, I'm not a crier, but speaking to people who are helping, I'm crying all the time.
I know, so many happy tears. Every day our hearts are just like full to bursting because a message will come through, and whether that's a big donation or someone just saying, this story, has touched me, and I really want to help you, and I didn't know where to put my donation this year, and we want to send it to you. We sort of message each other and go, oh, that's so nice.
All the screen grabbing, all the crying emojis.
Yeah, lots of crying, but, nice, happy tears because our hearts have been warmed.
I must say a thank you to Yogalicious, actually. So my day job is I'm a yoga teacher, and one of the studios I work at is Yogalicious, which is on Butcher Row. And what we've done there is put out a big donation box, like a proper big donation box covered in tinsel. And all of the lovely students have popped something in, some stuff, just a little bath bomb or a deodorant, right up to, and I won't name check him or his business, but one of the students actually gave a £500 donation. Nice. I won't name just because I haven't asked his permission, but I think that is there, and he was like, look, I just need to give this charitable donation, and I'm really feeling it, and and you think, gosh, the amount of people that's going to help, and as the girls say, lots of tears. But Eileen at Yogalicious Studio has really helped us out with popping that out for us there.
Best studio ever.
And if there's a company that did want to sort of drop a donation and get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to do so?
I think probably an email at this stage is going to come straight through to us, which is shrewsburykindness@gmail.com. That comes straight through to the three of us. So as Sophie said, if Ruth or I are on kid duty, or if Sophie's doing one of her exercise classes, you'll always get one of us on there. shrewsburykindness@gmail.com.
I got it. I'm going to put
There's
that
always
on
our Instagram.
We will leave that email address on the readout of the podcast, guys. So it'll be there for you to click on if you do want to get in touch. Because, donations, amazing. Thank you, everybody that's ever donated for this, because I think it's great.
Thank you, honestly. Thank you.
Thank you.
And social media, where can people find you? Seriously, guys, you don't underestimate. You underestimate the power of a share of a post of something of this magnitude.
Get our following up, everyone.
Yes.
So I'm giving into social media again. It's definitely. I'm there, guys. I'm there.
Yeah. So we're at Little Bags of Kindness, all one word. So exactly who we are, Little Bags of Kindness, and we're the same on Facebook. And if you want to drop us an email, it's shrewsburykindness@gmail.com, and we are all on those. All of us see everything that comes through, so we're reading it.
I'll share your link. I'll share a link of your thing, and I'll try and get my listeners to
Thanks.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I'd love to get you on in a few months and sort of see where things are and see how things have progressed.
That'd be really good, and we'll tell you about our next drive. Once this is over on Sunday, no doubt we'll be back onto the next thing, and we can tell you who we're working with, and we'll look forward to it.
I mean, like me using this, my gob, to sort of tell people about what you do is kind of how I help charities. But if there's anything they can physically do, or find something for you, or find a way to improve what you do, I'd love to try and help out. So let's keep in touch, guys. Let's keep in touch, all right?
Thank you.
I wish the Christmas drive to go well as well.
It has done. Do something kind, everyone, today. Just one thing.
Yes. Definitely do that. I'd like to give people a chance to check out our website as well. All of our audio is available on our website. It's www.theshrewsburybiscuitpodcast.co.uk, and that's made for us by our friends at Web Orchard. If you need a website, go and see Pete at Web Orchard. He'll sort you out. Right, he'll sort you out a great website. He's fantastic. I want to give a shout out to the parade shops as well. We're not there at the moment for December. I'm staying well away from those Christmas crowds, and I ain't bringing my guests out to that either. So we're staying away until the new year. But a big shout out to them. It's a beautiful building, the back of St. Mary's there. I was there yesterday picking up equipment, and it looked amazing. The Christmas decorations look great. Vanitas Tattoos is open. Dale Hintz is back open. Manola, if you need your eyelashes doing, she's amazing. Go and see her. There's so much going on there. It's brilliant. I love that place. You guys have been amazing. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. Thank you, Alex.
Let's do this again sometime, all right?
Definitely.
Thank you very much for listening, guys, and peace out.